What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode we are returning to the light novel Gundam Seed Destiny Astray B. Last time, Kazahana and Elijah went on an adventure to find his wizard pack. Elijah fought Elsa and her GOUF crusher. Elsa gets out of her mobile suit, making everyone feel awkward. This time we flash back to Elsa's first mission. Serpent Tail works together to take down Elsa, and she gets an upgrade to her GOUF. So let's get into this. A Strike Dagger is working with a team of Reistas. These are pirates. The Reistas are made by the Junk Guild, and using them for piracy voids their warranty. The pilot of the Strike is a little girl. The Reistas are equipped with 76mm heavy assault machine guns. They are skeptical if this place even exists. They're suddenly fired on, and they instantly become believers. They're attacking Ami no Mihashida. Now that they think it is real, the Reista pilots don't think they have a chance. The attacks come from a mobile suit. It is Guy in his blue frame. They have to act quickly. The Reistas fire blindly at the blue frame. Guy unleashes the tactical arms sword form and uses the sword as a shield. He then rushes the dagger swiftly. But it was a trick. She pulls out her beam saber to block, but he disappears. The tactical arms transform to mid-swing to evade the girl. The girl in the Strike Dagger throws her beam saber and tries to blow it up with the beam rifle, but she is out of battery. Didn't think that one through. They have no choice but to give up. She discards her beam rifle and confirms that she was fighting against Guy of Serpent Tail. The girl in the Strike Dagger happens to be Lily Thavali. Which one? Isn't there a bunch of them? She is the leader of the pirate group, the Flash Brigade. Guy doesn't take them in. He just leaves knowing they won't attack again. I wish I had half the aura Guy exudes. I turned my back on you. What are you gonna do about it? This chapter starts with the retelling of Blue, Red, and the Gold Astrays. Guy meets with Rondo Mina Sahaku, who is lounging and playing music. We learn that this attack was all a part of a plan originally thought out by Reed Weller. They pretended that Ami no Mihashida's defenses were weakened, and then they spread rumors. This lured in attackers. This is all a smokescreen to make it look like nothing was happening here to allow Guy to develop his new secret project in peace. This plan seems like it makes more work for you in the long run. In exchange for helping Guy, Mina asks that he be there in person when she makes her declaration of the sky. This is a spin-off story that we will probably discuss before Princess in the Sky. Mina notes that Guy is putting in a lot of effort against this Dante person. It seems that Mina really wants to have sex with Guy, and is bored of using the Socius clones for those needs. Suddenly, they are attacked again, and Guy heads out to defend. Mina says, screw it, I'll go out in the gold frame as well. More pirates approach in 12 gins. This must be a group of pirates working together. They seem uncoordinated for being coordinators. One man gives orders on the comms, and then suddenly, silence. This is caused by Amatsumina's Maga no Igitachi, which drains power. The gold frame is close by and using Mirage Colloid stealth. She deactivates the Mirage Colloid and goes to work. Knowing this isn't going to be a fun battle for Mina, Guy moves in and attacks as well, and the gens focus on blue frame. Mina watches Guy fight and says, yeah, I want him. Oh, she's not insinuating it anymore. She's full out stating she wants him. Alright, Mina joins in and the two tear through the gens as though they were dancing. 10 years ago. It has been a year since Elsa took that first life. Training continued as normal. Dante wanted her to grow out her hair, but Elsa never understood the purpose of this. Elsa asks about Guy. She wonders how she knows of him. Dante says, it's Guy, not Guy. The others in the facility seem to talk. Elsa was able to piece it together. She is very curious about Guy as it would answer questions about herself. She wonders why he is male. Guy was designed specifically for the military, so male genes were suitable for the role. Elsa's eggs didn't have a role, and they chose the most viable option, which happened to be female. This was all done at Mendel Colony. Naturals attacked the facility with the genetic eggs. They destroyed the facility, but the naturals saw the unfertilized eggs and thought they were naturals. This isn't necessarily true as the genetics still come from coordinators. Just because they weren't genetically enhanced doesn't mean they were naturals. Nonetheless, the naturals sold the eggs on the black market. Elsa says, does that mean I have to bury your children? Dante realizes maybe raising test tube babies was a bad idea. Elsa has her own Electra complex going on, but she's also very autistic about it and just sees it as a form of creating children. There's no love there whatsoever. Dante was expecting to have a father-daughter type moment. That didn't go as planned. There is no connection here. He says it lacked warmth or color. This is happening while they are eating. So one thing Dante takes away from this is that she opens up when they eat, which is why in the present they have that weird banter about food all the time. A few days later, Elsa goes on her first mission. Dante plans on distracting while Elsa sneaks in. He is using his katanas while Elsa has a knife. She is wearing a blouse and kept her hair down. She still doesn't understand it, but Dante says beauty can be an asset. He gives her a small ornament to put in her hair. Dante starts his distraction. Elsa sneaks in no problem and was able to sneak out in less than 10 minutes. She heads towards Dante, who is taking out men in powered suits. Dante targets the joints. One of the power suits catches Elsa because of the dress and her hair. She cuts off her clothes and breaks free while Dante takes out the powered suits. The two make their escape. Once they catch their breath, the two laugh. They can't go find a place to eat now that Elsa is naked. Elsa cuts her hair the next day. She isn't going to let her hair get in the way again. This chapter goes on about Elsa's hair, which makes Dante seem super controlling and seems like he is trying to groom her. Elijah is chasing a naked Elsa. He does some capoeira on her. Elsa's target happens to be Kazahana. We flash back to earlier. Reed calls Kazahana Kazapana, which she doesn't like. His comms go out for a moment due to the neutron jammers. She realizes that Reed is responsible for getting the wizard pack stolen. Reed assigns Kazahana a mission, but we don't learn what that is. Kazahana's mother, Loretta, is also part of this mission along with Guy and Elijah. She uses a powered suit called the Goody. Oh my, there's data on this powered suit? The Goody is a 2-meter tall powered suit. This isn't piloted, but rather worn, and is an extension of the limbs. They were popular before the invention of the mobile suit. It has tracks on the legs to allow it to traverse various terrain. Weapons include a standard human rifle, a corner shot rifle, and a heat hammer. These are all inferior to mobile suit weapons. They meet up on an isolated orb island. Elsa and Elijah are fighting. Loretta monitors the vibration sensors since neutron jammers are messing with radars. She moves into the detached gunner wizard. This is still a continuation of the fight we saw last episode, by the way, just from others' perspective. She moves in to fire the Orthos cannon on the backpack manually. She fires, vaporizing Elsa's legs on the GOUF, and it grazes Elijah. Elsa survives the attack. Loretta's part of this mission is complete. The rest is up to her daughter, Kazahana. Her role in this job is to negotiate with Elsa. Being a young girl and showing empathy is the way to win this negotiation. Elsa reveals herself, showing her naked body. This battle required her to not wear clothes. They are all very confused. Elijah gets out of his mobile suit. Kazahana keeps her distance. She is hidden during this part of the negotiations. Kazahana tells her that Guy is preparing to fight against Dante. He wasn't running like she thought. Elsa tells her that Dante is making weapons for the Astray Noir with the help of the clan. The clan seems to want Dante to kill Guy. It aligns with their interests. Elsa says, does Guy have any talents not given to him? She has the ability to sing and did it all on her own, and wants to know if Guy has a similar skill. Elijah is so confused and says, no, I don't know anything about that. Kazahana says she would love to hear her sing sometime. She could tell that the young girl is trying to draw out more intel. Now that she knows her singing, Elsa must kill Kazahana. She knows she must be within a 500-meter radius. She could hear birds on Kazahana's comms and is able to triangulate her location. She chases on foot. Elijah follows and fires at her. We got a naked teenager running in the forest. He catches up and does some capoeira. She is able to dodge his attacks. Elijah hates that he is a basic bitch coordinator with no enhancements. An explosion goes off. Elijah uses this opportunity and kicks Elsa in the head, knocking her unconscious. Dante is looking for someone to remake his sword pistols for him. A craftsman, Uno, in the red frame attacks him. Their two swords clash. Dante didn't think a swordmaster like this still existed in this world. Uno uses Sugiyashi, a foot technique used in Judo and Kendo. He falls and Uno strikes on his head, but Dante parries. Being a dual wielder, he has a weaker stance than a single katana stance. The two drop swords, and they each pick up each other's swords. Dante is amazed by the sheer lightness of Uno's sword. No air resistance whatsoever. Uno says he could fix his sword. That is when Dante asks if he can make the sword pistol. Uno says first he must get permission from his boss. He works for an organization called the Librarians. This is interesting. So the clan and library works were two separate organizations at one point. Dante realizes that the clan sent him here so they could spy on the librarians for him. He doesn't care so long as he gets his sword pistol. But there is another condition. He would have to take a girl into his care. When Elsa awoke, Serpent Tail was gone. She is draped with Elijah's Zaft jacket. The explosion was the gunner wizard. Elijah had a built-in self-destruct mechanism. She sees the treads of a powered suit. There were others working behind the scenes to help Kazahana. She meets with the clan at an Earth Alliance base. Laura Lottie is her contact. She gives the data of Elijah to Laura and the clan. The clan wants to give her something. They head to an outdoor training facility where she finds a 105 dagger and her GOUF crusher. The legs were completely replaced. This is the GOUF Crusher Custom. The ZGMF X2000 CQGB&S GOUF Crusher Custom has an overhauled lower half after losing its battle against Serpent Tail. It has been modified to focus on close combat. There is a lancer in the left leg, and the right leg functions as a vice. The feet have rollers allowing it to glide on various terrains. It is unknown how the clan made these modifications. Other weapons include the flail-like hammer and spherical breaker called the Slayer Whip. Elsa doesn't think about how they fixed this so fast and gets into the cockpit. The 105 dagger begins moving and Laura suggests a mock battle. The GOUF closes the gap swiftly and gets into melee range. The dagger goes for the beam saber. Elsa uses the vice, then uses the lance. This battle ended in less than a minute. And that will do it for this episode. Elsa seems to not understand human emotion to a point where she makes it incredibly awkward for Dante. She desires to know if Guy has something special that she doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if she learns that he has empathy and she doesn't. The clan's involvement probably doesn't help this either. Next time Dante heads to Aminami Hashira, Mina helps set the stakes between Guy and Dante's duel, and Guy fights Lily in the Blitz Gundam. But that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember, don't ask your father figure to bear your children. Peace.